2, 1. Welcome, everyone. Glad to hear people are tuning in. The SuperCoach lads here, and just a warm welcome from Butts here. Also Sluggy and Marco.
Yeah, g'day, boys.
Yeah, g'day, lads. Thanks for listening.
It was a fantastic round of footy. I thought there was some big upsets, which was really interesting, and it's shaking up the AFL world, and most considerably Sydney lost to a very injury-ravaged Adelaide. North Melbourne surprisingly got up.
You'd have been happy about that one, buddies.
I'm very happy. Benny Brown killed it again. Beautiful. And, I think the two games on Tuesday and Wednesday night were of expected, with the Tigers getting up and Collingwood against a really dismal Essendon, I thought, Marco.
Absolute terrible. Worst game I've seen Essendon play in a long time. Absolutely
Very up and down side. Very up and down side.
And it's interesting to see where they're at as well. They picked up three blokes who are in that 23 to 26 age bracket, which they probably should be starting to pull their finger out. And
haven't really got much from them this year at all. Stringer certain glimpses, but that's about it.
Yeah. So anyway, so looking back at Supercoach this week, and so Marco, how did you go with your team, and what's everything looking like with yourself in Supercoach?
Yeah, so from around 4 last week to round 5 this week, definitely improved on my ranking. Went up 6k in my rank, so that's pretty solid. Just having the same issue as last round though, with a few players still getting that score that's just really hurting the total score for the round. People like Buddy Franklin scoring only 48 was just... I was hoping he would actually go off. He was one of my predictions to go big this week, and even had the vice captain sitting on him. And then he goes out and scores 48 on me. Jared Garlett, forced to be on the field from bench cover not being there. Only scores 28, absolutely dismal. And then I've got Crowden, who scored 55. Not too bad, but still would like to have rookies still hitting about 60 to 65 plus. Then I had 8 players score under a ton, which isn't great either. But good to see Holman back in form, I thought. So yeah, that's my round wrap up for this week.
Oh, lovely. Sluggy, how'd you go?
Yeah, I had a pretty good week actually, boys. I got 2,179, which is not too bad, in top 13%, and moving up the ranks, moved up about 7k, so about 35 now. So slowly getting up there after a slow start this year. I had a good few scores. I brought in my POD last week as a laid in for Josh Kelly, and problem was with that, he was side bottom and he was getting tagged most of the game on Anzac Day, so he was lucky to kick, I think he kicked 3 goals in that game, so that helped push over his score. But yeah, another 91 from him. He's hit 3 91s and a couple over 130. Looking at it, and you look at, still got Hibbard, still got Billings, and they're still underperforming. But
couple words there.
Yeah. Well, Jeremy Howe stepped up. I thought he'd hit a bit more high though in that game. He'd done a lot of intercept marks. I thought he'd score a bit better, and
still
had a good. I had a good vice captain loophole this week by thanks of Butsy suggesting Nat 5 with with Friedrich being laid out. I was able to take the vice off Laird because I didn't have any other options, and because Friedrich didn't play till the Tuesday, I had 5 sitting on vice, and it gave me double 151, so it was perfect.
Yeah, beautiful.
Gave me a good score.
Fantastic. Yeah, I had a shocking week in Supercoach, and that's probably been the story of my year so far. I've had round one, I got nearly 2-3, and ever since I can't even hit 2-1, and so very struggling much. I don't know how, but I'm within the top 50,000, which is pretty bad, and haven't been like this for a few years. But the thing that's probably costing me, which does every year, is I haven't really traded. I've only spent 4 trades so far this year, so I never really go for the ranking. I'm usually holding out till the end of the year to win a couple of flags in different leagues, which I've won back to back in 2 different leagues. So going pretty well on that front. But yeah, so I don't
Humble
know.
brag.
Yeah, very humble. And yeah, it's our league's going very well. Us three in it, and Daniel's girlfriend Kaziah's Slug's girlfriend Kaziah is going very well and leading our scoring. I'm pretty sure.
Ranked in the top 18,000. So
yeah, but there was a couple of I was very impressed with young Zach Fisher. But other than him, a lot of my premiums really stuffed me up. And Toby Green has had a great start to the year. He's played 3 games now, hit 130, 90, and a 50. And he's going to miss again. Buddy Franklin hit a 50. He's going to miss next week as well because of the old surface at the Optus Stadium. So, yeah, things are not looking very well for me. But, yeah, same old story with Hibbert. Howe, I'm a bit disappointed in Howe because I'm pretty sure he was on 50 at half-time and slowed down as Collingwood sort of sped up. Yeah, so Sluggy, what have you got for round recap surprises?
Oh, my surprises. Yeah, these are probably ones you probably wouldn't expect. And I'm going to talk about 2 Carlton boys. And that is Patrick Cripps and Kate Simpson. Both hitting those big scores of 151 and 142. And the thing with Patrick Cripps is, going into that game, surely you thought he'd be getting tagged. There's no one else in that midfield you got to worry about. And he comes out with a 151. I don't know how he doesn't get that attention in that game because he's the only good player they've got. And Cade Simpson, he's just as reliable as ever.
Yeah, especially
and everyone knows that.
Mark Murphy out too with Patrick Cripps as well.
Yeah, so it's puzzling to me why you don't tag the one good player that you have sitting in the midfield. It's crazy. And that is probably the one surprise I've got from the week. I don't think there was many surprises, just a few of the wins by some of the clubs, really.
Yeah, nice. Marco?
Oh, my surprise of the week really isn't SuperCoach related, but did come out it was an article that came out on the 24th. It was a big call by old David King, and he reckons that Bailey Banfield, the way he's been tagging, could make the All-Australian team. Now, don't know where he's coming with that call, but that definitely is my surprise of the week.
Yeah,
very
terrible.
Who is he? Who is he?
Who's this?
Who is he? I've never heard of him.
Bailey
Who's the best
Banfield.
tagger in the game right now? That is the question. It's definitely not Banfield. I'm sure Matt Butler knows who it is.
Yeah.
Very, very big surprise from a lot of people in the Supercoach world, but not for my sake at all. My boy Benny Jacobs, the old Port Adelaide product, put the clamp on again like he does every week. He's done it for the last 4 or 5 years. Just a great tagger. He's missed a year and a half with a bad foot, but I knew straight away. I called last week that Mitchell wouldn't get 110. He's averaging 140, and I said he wouldn't get 110 this week. And my boy come out and delivered, and that was probably the catalyst for a massive week for North Melbourne, taking the win over Hawthorn. And it just showed you what that did to the rest of the Hawthorn team, and that was my big surprise of the week, how well North Melbourne played, which overall put the clamp on a lot of their players. And yeah, Jay Gray-Mura only hit, I think he hit about a 50, and Mitchell hit a 75, and Sicily did pretty well again, but was stomping, so he's got a weak
Yeah.
But
He's a bit of a headache.
No, yeah, definitely. And my big surprise of the week is a young boy from Sydney. He's got the long blonde hair, Bondi Beach boy, and that's young Heaney. And I was very impressed. Took the game by the scruff of the neck at a stage. Couldn't kick straight, unfortunately, but taking very big marks. 20 out on good key defenders. He was very impressed. I was very impressed, with him.
Kept the Swans in
Which
it.
was, he did. Did very well for a young fella, only 21 or 22. So it was good to see. Daniel, Sluggy, what have you got for your ins and outs this week? New segment on the show, ins and outs.
Is that ins and outs in my current side in Supercoach you're talking about there, Butsy?
No, just in general for the round.
Just in general for the round, yes.
The main ones that are going to affect everyone.
Oh, well, some people will be lucky if they've got Lucky Hunter to come back in, and then I guess you got Caleb Marchback coming in, and we're all going to hate the Garlett's out, but he hasn't been playing very well, has he? What's he hit?
Hasn't.
He's hit a few 20s for us, so that's bound to happen. So we've got to trade a few of those forward rookies in this week. Tommy Hawkins comes in with, Daniel Menzel out. All the noticeable ones, we all know those, which is Buddy coming out, and then you've got Dan Hanbury out. I don't think too many people have Dan Hanbury, but for the ones that do, that's going to be pretty bad. And then we've got a few rookies coming back in this week. We've got Don Barry coming back in. We've got Zach Langdon coming back in. It's great. And another bad one for you, Butsy, that'd be Toby Green. So you got a few out this week, don't you, Butsy, in the forward line?
Yeah, I'm playing you as well.
What do you got, 4 or 5 out in your forward line this week?
It's going to be a long week for me, I think.
Yeah. And obviously Jay Sicily out with suspension. One of your favourites, Sean Burgoyne's back in. Hunter Clark's out, so for the people that still have Hunter Clark, that's no good. Matt Crouch back in, which will be great.
Massive, man.
Yeah,
biggest one of the week.
I'm not going Merritt. I'm waiting on Matt Crouch, I reckon, boys. Even though Merritt's at 490k now, I think I'll suck it up and wait till Matt Crouch is back in. What do you reckon on that?
Interesting call soon as you're trading them out. So, yeah, interesting one.
Oh, how long was he out for? 3-4 weeks.
May as well go for Ablett.
Might as well get him when he's cheap.
Okay, no worries. So there's a few ins and outs there. Rookies, it's a very big week in the actually a very big couple of weeks in the rookie world. There's a few nice scores coming about. Anthony, what have you got for us on the rookie front? The new ones that are on the bubble.
Yeah, so the young bloke from Essendon is looking good, very good. Golfy, I think his name's pronounced. He's looking great. He's got a B of, I think, -75. You can't go past that. He's averaging 70. He's hit a score of 69 and 70. So, yeah, he's doing well, that young bloke. Definitely putting him on my side this week. He's one of those ones definitely to look out for. The other one that a lot of people seem to be looking at too is old Jack Higgins. The only thing I find with him is his job security is probably not the greatest, but when he is on the field, he's definitely electric with those goals he's kicked this year, and he's scored a score of 91 last round. Was pretty good effort for the young fella, and his first round too was a 63, so he's sitting on an average of about 77. So yeah, they're definitely the two to look out for. Oh, and definitely the David Muir as well from Hawthorn is another one to look out to for a rookie as well, with the break-even of 71, highest score of 77, lowest score of 54. So he's sitting on about an average of 65. So yeah, here's another one to look for this week to bring in as well. What about the trade outs, Daniel? Oh, Slug.
The trade outs?
Yeah, for the rookies.
I thought we were still talking about rookies, yeah. Oh, the trade out for rookies, yeah. That's a good one. That is a good one. The two that I think we've all got to move on from, I think Garlett's probably one that has to go. I don't think he's going to make you any more coin.
Yep.
He's not hitting those big scores. So, yeah, definitely I'd bring in Golfy straight away. I think he's the best option compared to Jack Higgins. As you said, job security is definitely not big for him. I think he's on the extended bench, and will not surprise me if he doesn't line up on Sunday. Another one that I'm moving on from this week is Andrew Brayshaw. I think he's got to his potential in cash money too. I'm still holding Fritish. He's on a still pretty good break even from what I recall, and I think he'll come back into the team. Yeah, I think he's got a good chance to come back into the side, even if it's just another week.
Has a break even of 3, he does. So it's still looking pretty good to make some money.
When you've already made 190k, like when he's already 190k, break even of 3 is not too bad. So that's what are you doing this week, Barty?
I'm really looking hard at Mara from Hawthorn. He's a 27-year-old. I reckon he looks really from a second game where he's playing on some big forwards. He's probably that third tall, and I'm really impressed. And out of all the rookies this week, I nearly see him as being the one that's going to probably last the longest.
Okay.
But something to mention about the rookies, probably not Supercoach related, but how good is Jack Higgins from Richmond? His personality is so good. He just makes the game so good to watch, and just
He brings that energy, doesn't he?
Yeah, energy.
He's a great character.
Very, very funny. Great for the game, and they're the things that we missed out on.
Get them snags in him.
Yeah, exactly. Snags.
Loves it.
So we're going to rage trades. I'll start. I'll just talk about young Sicily from Hawthorn. Absolute tremendous talent. I really like him as a footballer. He's very, very silly, but I think he plays the game the right way. We need them type of people in our game, otherwise we're all going to be robots. But unfortunately, it's cost him, and he's already been suspended. He's already missed a week. Now he's going to miss the second for the year. But just the talent's just unreal. Like, he can play forward at back, and in the back line, he's really, really doing well. He's hit 3 out of the 4 games he's played. He's hit over 110 3 times, which is very impressive. Averaging 105 as a defender or a forward, wherever you want him. So if you have him, congratulations, because I think he's going to be a very impressive player this year, and I can nearly see him averaging over 110. And that's in a back line or a midfield. That is really, really fantastic. And he's only sitting at 450 at the moment. So if you have him, keep him, 100% hold him, because he's going to make you money this year and he's going to give you a lot of points. And also, if you haven't got him, I'd be looking very hard at him next week. Averaging 105. And he's pumping out them big scores that we know backmen don't really do. So, big interceptor again. So what about you, Sluggy? What do you think?
Well, I agree with what you said on Sicily too there, Butsy. Especially with him being out this week, and when the likes of us have Hibbard, like, why not wait a week when he's at 440k, which is nearly the price that Hibbard is at now? Like, there's no point adding 80k to go up to someone when you got someone the likes of him that's been scoring big. But as you said, he's going to probably get a few suspensions here and there. My rage trade, none of us have him, but I'm going to talk about him, which is Chad Wingard. Don't know about you guys, know how he's going, but I'm sure he'll be giving a lot of people some headaches. His first week was great, hit 110. And then listen to some of these scores, boys. 49, 89, 52, 45. From a primo, they're just really low numbers. Like, he's got a break even of 143 and he's averaging 69. Like, that is...
Could you really class him as a primo?
He was sitting at 5'10".
Yeah, okay.
At the start of the year, he was definitely primo. He would have been in the top 10.
Yeah.
The end of last year, he did really well. I think he was averaging 110 over the last 6 or 8 weeks in 2017.
That'll do it then. Yeah, definitely.
So he's probably been worse off than Billings, and all we do is talk about Billings because we've got him in our side. But if you've holded on to Billings, well, you've stuck through him. But yeah, depending on what price he is, I don't really remember myself, but it would not surprise me if people were rage trading him this week.
Yeah,
they're just really low numbers.
Anth?
Well, mine probably isn't really a rage trade, but it's one that people just probably should be wary of. Is probably Buddy Franklin. He is injured, but you never know with those bruised heel injuries. It could only be just out this week. They are saying it could be 3, but I'll just hold him for just this week unless you desperately have to trade him out. Already near 7,000 people have traded him out. So if all of them, I'd probably reconsider that unless you actually feel like you can trade him out. Just for the fact that it may only be a 1-week injury. You never know. But yeah, I'd hold him just for this week and see what happens in the coming lead up to round 7. I reckon that's my pick.
Fantastic. So POD's took out for... I'm going to start, and I've got I've got two, and these are big PODs. I'm not quite sure what their percentage of owners are in the league.
I'll bring
But
that for you.
Ed Kerno, he's.
Oh,
The bloke
going
I
with
talked
Marco's
about
point
last week.
I think I'm really impressed by him because
Yeah.
he's averaging 116. His lowest score this year is an 86, and he's hit over 125 3 out of 5 rounds. He's a bit of a tagger, so he's never going to get tagged himself. And I don't know. It'll be interesting. I nearly think he could make top 10, top 15 midfielders this year just by going by the fact that he's playing for Carlton, very high possession team, and it's very easy for him to find the possession because he's the man taking him to the ball. So he's my one to look out for in the next few weeks. And also the other one is Brett Deledio. And I think it's very, very probably too early to even mention his name because he hasn't had a run at it for 2 years. Probably should be a premiership player, but unfortunately, we all know he's gone to GWS. But the last 2 weeks, he's starting to find form. He's hit 115 and 150, or 153. He's sitting at 400k with the break-even of minus 26. I don't think you bring him in the next few weeks, but watch this space on him. Because if in 2 or 3 weeks he's still hitting them hundreds, if he hits 4 tons in a row, I think you really have to look at him. Because from 2008 to 2015, he averaged over 100. 2016, he only played 11 games at Richmond, averaged 95. And last year only played 4 games with a lot of injury, played a few finals there as well, but only an average 77. So didn't really have a run at it, didn't really have a role, didn't know what his role was. But this year I think he's going to find form, and I'm potentially looking at him to play in my team. He's a forward, and if you can average over 100, I think anyone who averages over 100 in the forward line, you have to look at.
Good call.
So they're my two. What about you, Sluggy?
Yeah, mine will be one that you probably think he probably has more owners, but I'm going with Sam Menegola. Yeah, he's averaging 101, and his past 3 weeks have been great. His first few obviously went good, and that could be why I'll talk about him, but 74 or 57 on his first 2. Then he's hit 128, 129, 121, and he's only going at 5% ownership. For someone that was number 1 in forwards last year, 5% ownership is a bit of a surprise, but we all know why that is, and that would be Gary Ablett.
Yazza!
Yeah, with him out of the side, he's getting his midfield time, but hopefully he can keep up those scores because we'd love to have someone at that scoring potential in the forward line because there's not many options. He's definitely a player to look at. I'll definitely keep an eye on him, and hopefully I don't think you're going to risk it before Gary Ablett's back because you'd rather pick up someone like Robbie Graves having a cracker of a time there in Port Adelaide and getting a lot of midfield time now, which is good for him. But yeah, definitely keep an eye on Sam Menegola in the coming weeks.
Nice.
What do you reckon, Marco?
Yeah, well, Butler took mine from last week in Eddie Curnow, and I'm still riding on the Eddie Curnow train. Only 1.3% of teams have him, so he's actually doing a blinder this year. But the one I'm looking at for this week and heading forward too is he's a genuine star of the game, and barely anyone has him at only 5.6% of teams. Is good old Scotty Pendlebury, the captain of Collingwood.
Yeah.
He's averaging 110, and he's only had 1 score this year under 100, and it was 99. Right? And he's at 26 disposals per game, so it's not the numbers he would be getting normally, but he's going at 80% efficiency, which is pretty impressive. So it's definitely helping him out. Yeah, he's definitely one I'll be looking forward to to putting in my team at some point, maybe if he keeps going at the way he's going. Yeah, he's just a genuine star of the game, and I think this is the only year I've started SuperCoach without him in my side, so I could actually be trading him in at some point if he keeps going the way he's going. That'd be my pick.
Definitely. those Collingwood midfielders have been playing pretty well. Even Treloar, I think he's hit a few 120s in the past 3 weeks. So
Yeah, well,
yeah, they've been playing well.
yeah. Scotty Pennebury's at 110 average, Treloar's at 109, and Still Bottom is at 109. So they're just working off each other like brilliantly at the moment.
Good call, Marco.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll go into the captain's corner. I'm going to start this one because I'm in some pretty good form on the old captain's front, if I don't remember myself. So if we just want to take us all back a week, the blokes who listen to the podcast or the ladies. We all did 2 each, and my two predictions were the young fella from Hawthorn who's already receding his old hairline, Tommy Mitchell. I said he'd get under 110. Cha-ching for Matt Butler there. And also, I said to put the loophole on the old Fifey who scored 150. So if you took my advice, thank me later. So I'm going to go on the Tom Mitchell bandwagon again. Sorry, boss, I'm taking it from you. But I have done my research this week, and I am looking to put him in my vice captain spot this week, and actually captaincy spot this week, sorry. And I'm doing that on the basis of they're playing St Kilda. St Kilda aren't going very well, we know that. But that's not the point why you put someone as Supercoach captain or vice captain, because each team can play different defences, can tag, whatever. But the big one for St Kilda is they don't tag players. In round 3, Rory Laird 32, Gibbs 26, Seedsman 26. 2 midfielders there. In round, when they played Geelong down at Cardinia, Zach Tui 29, Parker 28, Selwood 27, Dangerfield 25. Dangerfield didn't play many minutes that game. And then they played GWS on the weekends. Caniglio 29, Brett Delidio 29, Cal Ward 29. That's telling us, boys, that I think he's going to have his 35, 40 this week. He's going to get a lot of points, and I'm banking on, I'm going to say 130 he will get. And my other one that I'm going to predict in the vice captaincy might be my captain. I'm not sure if I'll put him captain or I'll put Tommy Mitchell captain and do him as a loophole, but it's Big Maxi Gawn in unreal form. Hit 150 on the weekend against the old Big Nank the Tank from Richmond. And he's playing an absolute spud this week. He's playing Tom Bellchambers, who is an absolute...
He played pretty well on the weekend.
Bellchambers is out, boys. Bellchambers is out. He's up against Leuenberger.
Yeah, good pick then.
There you go. And I think he's going to run rings around him. And I'm going 140 from Max Gawn. They're my 2 this week, boys. What about yourself, Marco?
Yeah, so this week I've put my vice captain, I reckon, on Stephen Caniglio against the old Brisbane Lions. Has a very high chance of scoring high, but you know my prediction with Buddy last weekend, so not very good on that front. But definitely putting it on Caniglio. He's averaging about 28 disposals per game, so that's pretty solid. And he's kicked 7 goals this year, which is definitely boosting up his score. He's just a gun, I reckon. He's one of the best players in the comp at the moment. He's just getting so much ball. Every time he's got it, he just does something good with it. You hardly ever see him make an error. He's just absolutely killing it. This weekend, tossing up the captain, there's 3 choices. Butler hit one of them, was Maxi Gawn. I'm deciding between Martin, Fife and Gawn for captain. Looking past Tom Mitchell this week, just for the fact, putting the vice on Caniglio, so I've got the heart set on that one. So yeah, captain's a toss-up between Fife, Martin and Gawn. Don't really know who to go with this week, but yeah, they're my picks. Sluggy, what about you?
Yeah, well, I've gone with my vice captain, which none of you boys have, which is Danger, playing in Geelong, which he loves playing at that stadium. And I think he's just in for a big one. He come off a 130. Surely this injury's behind him, and I reckon he can pull out a big score this week. And yeah, well, Butler already talked about it, but put the captain on Mitchell. So Yeah, with St Kilda not tagging, he's just going to run ragged pretty much. He's just going to, I think he'll get probably 38 plus touches around about that area, I reckon. So I reckon he's going to score pretty well. I reckon either of these boys could hit 140 this week. And that's what I'm banking on this week. And hopefully I get a good score against Butler there.
Hopefully. Okay, let's get into a new topic. We didn't do it last week, and we've added in because we felt that we needed a little bit more prediction, but not on the front of genuine superstars of the game that only get a look into our vice captain captaincy spots. So, Sluggy, do you have a weekly prediction for this week for a player in SuperCoach?
I've actually got two. My weekly prediction, which is, this one is the far-fetched one here. Hibbard to score 90 plus this week. We've held on to him for so long. Hoping that he can reward us with the 90 plus score or, just break our hearts again. But yeah, I've held on to him this long. I've used too much trades to get rid of him. I think I've got to stick with him for a little while. I'll give him another week. And if he doesn't pull out 85 plus, I think I'll bring in Sicily. The other one I got, which this is probably pretty likely, but coming off injury, Matt Crouch to average 30 plus disposals, which is pretty easy for him, but I think coming off injury, it'll be exciting to see him back out there. And I'll make another prediction on that. He'll kick a goal too.
Ooh.
That's my predictions. So I'd like to hear yours, Marco.
Yeah, so my first one this week, love this player, always respected him as a footballer, is Dane Zorko. Hoping he would crack the ton this year for only his second game this year. He's had some pretty horrid games, especially the one against last week. Who did they play last week, boys? I've slipped my mind. Up against the Suns last week, had a shocker of a day. Just hoping he picks up and finally cracks that ton and shows the form he was in a bit last year with his Supercoach scoring. I've also got another one. It's a bit of a gag, but Jack Silvani to crack higher than 40 for the first time this game, boys. He's hit 3 scores of 30, like in the 30s. He's got to do it one game for us.
Jackie
Silvani, he's got to live up to the name, surely. And then, Essendon will have a win over Melbourne. Hoping the Bombers can actually lift. They're my predictions for this week, boys.
Fantastic. My prediction this week is very close to heart. It's old big Todd Goldstein from North Melbourne. He comes up against Port Adelaide, who do not have an official ruckman at the moment. Ryder's still out with his Achilles. So I think I'm going Goldie's going to hit me 130 this week and really cement his spot. I was disappointed last week because he's hit 77, but what the stats don't always show, in that first quarter when the game was on the line, we go 5 goals up at quarter time. He was best on at quarter time. He had 6 hit-outs to advantage and had 3 or 4 possessions. Somehow, I do not know what happened or what Supercoach were doing, but he was only on 13 points, which was absolutely ridiculous because his impact was phenomenal. So, which was very surprising because Ruckman always do well when they're on top. So I'm not sure what the goal was there. So I'm thinking he'll hit 130. And North Melbourne play Port Adelaide under the lights of Etihad. And I think we are going to go berserk against Port, who are old and slow. And I think this will be the making of North Melbourne. We've knocked off one contender. Well, I think Hawks are a contender, top 6. But I think if we can knock off Port, which is a massive possibility, with our run and dash and our pressure around the ball, I'm going to call it. I reckon we'll be top 10 or 11, and we'll play off for a flag in 2 or 3 years if that happens. If we can make top 10 this year. So that's my weekly predictions. On the bubble, Marco, what have you got for this one?
What have I got for on the bubble? I haven't really looked into the bubble one, but move along.
Yeah, we talked about the rookies, mate. That's basically what we've done. But probably what we should talk about is what are we doing for trades this week, boys? We've got a lot of pressing issues up in that forward line. I think there's going to be a few changes this week by probably everyone in the SuperCoach community. What kind of trades are you thinking about this week, Matt Butler?
I think I'm going to go. I'm probably going to concede that I'm going to get a terrible score because I've got 4 of my best players out, 4 of my primos out, sorry. So I'm going to bank on going 2 rookies, bringing them in, giving myself a bit of cash, and then next week I'm going to sideways Hibbard, if he doesn't, actually I will, to Sicily, and maybe, depending on how it goes, maybe look to top him up to Cade Simpson. But this week I'm looking to bring in from Hawthorn, the old Mara, down back, and I'm not sure who I'll take out at the moment. But also I'm going to bring in Gilfie, in the forward line for Garlett. So it's going to give me a little bit of cash and a couple more rookies to start making me a bit more money. And then I'm going to top up one primo and bring in Sicily as well next week. What about yourself, Marco?
Yeah, this weekend, bringing in old Goofy from Essendon, just have to do it. Bringing it in for Jeffy Garlett. He's my only trade-in for this week at the moment, but will depend on whether Frisk is back in the side for Melbourne, as I don't have any bench cover at the moment for Buddy. Might look to upgrade from there, but we'll see how we go. If not, might even just risk the old Jack Higgins trade-in and get a bit of cash off him. But yeah, again, he's such a risk to bring in. Then yeah, hopefully next week I could have a week free of trading, because that's something that I haven't been able to do all year. So hopefully next week I can just be trade free. But yeah, that's my trade for the week is Goofy to Garlett. That's what it is. What about you, Slug?
Yeah, I agree, Marco. I think you probably got to wait with Jack Higgins too to see if he's named before he plays on Sunday. I don't know. They've got a big interchange list there with a lot of names that look like they're likely to play. So, yeah, I'm doing 2 trades this week and pretty much the same trades that Butler's doing and looking on to what he's doing next week as well. So, yeah, David Mirror in, and I'm dropping Brayshaw for him and moving Finlayson into my midfield. So I'm getting rid of Brayshaw and I'm bringing in Matt Guolfi for Garlett. So we're pretty much doing the same trade, boys. We're just, yeah, we'll see what happens next week. What do you reckon, Butler? Do you reckon we got any time for some questions to answer on Twitter?
Yeah, we do. I think we've got a couple of questions. So we've got one from old Link Beggs, who says, thoughts on Hibbert to Yo? I'm just leaking points from the rookies, but Hibbo is just as bad at the moment. Marco, what do you think about this? Hibbert to Yo?
Yeah, no, I think that's a pretty smart trade. If he's leaking points from the rookies, I'd probably look into that more than bringing in Yo at this point for Hibbert, because Hibbert, you never know, could pick up form, but with the way he's playing, it's very unlikely. But yeah, no, I'm definitely liking that trade to Yo. Yo's a definite star of the game. He's averaging 101, so yeah, if you can pick up a defender that's averaging that much. He has a low score of 27 and a high score of 150, which definitely blows out that average a bit, but yeah, his other scores are of 114, 105 and 109. Yeah, I'd look into trading in Yo for Hibbert. That's a smart move if he wants to go that route.
Yep, yeah. And we've got one more Twitter question from @KezFree. She's asked us, boys, what do we think to do with Garlett? We know he's a mid forward, so Swaggy, what do you think you should do with Garlett in terms of picking up a rookie?
Yeah, that's a good question, Kez. Yeah. I think we speak for all of us, and we're all getting rid of Garlett. I think we're all trading him to Golfy, so yeah, definitely got to bring in him, and he'll be the one we all look for Garlett. It's definitely what we'll be doing.
I think it's the best
So
move for him.
I suggest everyone do the same. If you've got Garlett, and especially with this week with the amount of forwards out, you've got to bring someone in, and the Garlett's not going to make you any more cash anymore, and he's out of the side, so move on.
Fantastic. Okay. It's fantastic, boys. I really looked forward to doing this, and as we're going to continue to do for the rest of the year. It's a big week for Eden up Apsley in the local footy. We've got Stall, which is an hour and a half away. But it's a big game. Still looking to be top two, and we're not sure where we are at the moment, but we knocked off probably another team that's going to be top two, top three. So if we win this weekend, it's going to be massive. And I think North Melbourne are, again, going to be led by the Coleman medalist at the moment, or the Coleman medalist leader, big Ben Brown, number 50. And I think he will be playing on Tom Jonas, so I don't think he's going to go as well, but I'm going to say 3 goals, and I'll be very happy with that. What about you, Sluggy?
Yeah, thanks for listening, everyone. If you've made it this far, you're a legend. Hope you all tune in next week. And if you've got any questions for us, feel free to leave on our Twitter post that we'll leave at the bottom of this video. What about yourself, Marco?
Yeah, another good podcast, boys. Definitely hoping the Bombers pick up this week after their dismal Anzac Day performance. Worst game I've seen play for years. Definitely would be good to see them pick up a win against Melbourne. And I'm also looking at the Fremantle Dockers and beating the West Coast Eagles, boys. I reckon that's going to be a big game. I reckon that's almost a game of the round right there.
What about Collingwood v Richmond?
Yeah, I still reckon that the old Western Derby is the bigger one of the week. I reckon that's going to go off, boys. At the Perth Stadium, it's going to be a packed house. It's going to be great.
Yeah,
Definitely be keeping an eye on the Fremantle Dockers there. Yeah, Butts, are going to wrap us up.
Well, have a great one, guys. Thanks for listening, and continue to tune in. We're only doing this as fun. We don't really care how many people view it, but it's just something that we enjoy and something that we look forward to each week. So have a great time, and goodbye from Butts.
All right.